That was Troy Sheehan, who was obviously very welcoming of the invitation to come and race by Kenyon Kluge. He starts in the E Superstock, one of the 4 Zero cars. He's actually qualified down in 8th place. 9 bikes qualifying, but only 7 on circuit, and we'll talk a little bit more about that when the race gets underway. But pole position going to Steve Atlas on the Bramo. Second meeting of the year, but remember he didn't race at Infineon because he had an off, he was injured. There is the 96 bike of Kenyon Kluge. He starts at the back of the 9-car field. Treble 1, Troy Sheehan, who we spoke to. Good to see him out here. 69 is Don Hedrick. And away from the back of the field, getting ready to go. Steve Atlas then. Matt Kent, another rider to look out for, who was, of course, in our interviews. On board with Kenyon Kluge. It's a great start from everyone. The great thing about this meeting is they've been mixing it up with the gas bikes, as you've heard. Look at Steve Atlas. Is absolutely away with this one. Matt Kent in second position. Now you see, if you know the circuit at all, then you'll see that the guys are not taking in the S's. Turns 1, 2 and 3. They go straight down to turn 4 and 5, Porsche Hill. And then round to the left-hander now where Steve Atlas is, turn 6. And once they're sorted out through that left-hander, then it's lean over onto the right-hander at West End, and we continue right down the straight. I dealt with that. Look at the speed of these bikes. The catchphrase this weekend was silence falls here at Portland International Raceway. It's very much the case. Look at the outside there, concrete wall. It's not the most forgiving of circuits here if you make a mistake. And Steve Atlas is away with this one at the moment. As we said, didn't start in round 1. We've got one rider who did do round 1, of course, Kenyon Kluge, to 3rd place finishes at Infineon Raceway. So this is Bramo's first race of the year. I need to talk to you a little bit about what happened in qualifying as we look at Matt Kent on the 72 machine. Again, I have to have a chance to talk about Matt as the race unfolds, but yesterday's qualifying saw a little bit more competition for Steve Atlas, because first and second on the timing sheets were Christopher Ancien and Michael Siz. The Siz Racing bikes, the Motor Siz bikes, having problems in qualifying with overheating. The bikes have only just made it back to the base from the TT on the Isle of Man, and of course a very different track setup and a lot of adjustments needed to the bikes. It didn't really work out. They had the pace yesterday, but they haven't got the technology to keep the bikes from overheating. So Motor Siz taking the decision, having shown the pace in qualifying, not to run the bikes and do further damage in the racing. So that afforded pole position to Steve Atlas today. There's Matt Kent on the 72 machine. Now the ZeroS is the E Superstock. Remember the production class. Very close, and all 4 bikes, we've got one returning rider, Kenyon Kluge, on trying to work his way through on the 96 machine. But as you heard, Troy Sheehan very keen to take a win here. And just how close are these bikes? This is one way that the championship is going to be going for sure. We had a quick on board there of bike number 9, Chris Page. He's racing in other championships here this weekend. Clouds threatening, but so far none of the what the organisers term as English weather that we had in qualifying. And Steve Atlas, best time in qualifying 1:18.949, average speed of 87.505, and bettering that today 1:17.768 as we go. Look at a great shot from Chris Page. Kenyon Kluge in 96 trying to get around the outside, and you really get the feeling that there's this developing trend with the e-bikes, that they're going to have the e-superbikes, the e-open class, which is going to continue, plus the e-superstocks eventually probably going to wind up having their own races. But there's the man in second place, Matt Kent, on the Cole Morgan Virginia Bolt Tech team, student-based team. Great effort today to get the bike up into second on the grid, their first race. So a big warm welcome to the championship for Matt Kent and the boys, and let's hope we get to see more of those over the course of the season. And looking back from Troy Sheehan, Don Hedrick behind him on number 69. Don, who's been an OMRA, that's the organising club here, the Oregon Moto Road Racing Organisation, been a member since 1999 and is an instructor here. Picked up quite a few trophies last year riding a Ducati 1098S, so he knows what he's doing, certainly around this circuit. Circuit knowledge, a good thing for new riders to the bikes to employ as we go back on board with Chris Page, who's leading this little battle at the moment. We've got Eli Schless in the race as well. Going to have a little shout out for Eli riding on bike number 18. Hopefully we'll get to see him. Eli celebrating his 25th wedding anniversary today, so warm congratulations to him and the missus as well. Here's a look back. There's Chris Page on number 9, who's been having some good onboard shots. You can see the camera on his back, and this is the view from that camera as he slices down the inside of Troy Shahan to take us to a quick break. Welcome back to TDX round 2 of the American eGrandPrix Championship for 2012. And that's bike number 72, Matt Kent, running in second place. But of course, lots of interesting stuff happening in the E-Superstock competition. And these four guys having a real good scrap. Troy Shahan, Chris Page, Kenyon Kluge and Don Hedrick. There is Eli Schless. This is a great way to spend your silver wedding anniversary. Eli is there. This is his fourth start in TTX, so really you've got to say a little bit of a TTX veteran. Kenyon Kluge on his 5th start, and here we go on board with Kenyon. A little bit of formation riding going on in front, but he's coming down to the inside across the line, down towards turn 1. Turn 1 for us, of course, turn 4, Porsche Hill, but we're going back to second place. Matt Kent, his best lap so far, a 1:32. A little bit away from the pace of the Bramo. That's to be expected from a privateer team of students, but it's about getting the bike home and about how the bike develops over the course of the season, and I should say seasons, really. But look at this, four-way scrap again in E-Superstock. Troy Shahan still out there, some racing experience. Troy with the moto journalist, as you heard. Background that he's an Indonesian-American, both of his parents from Indonesia, but he was born and raised here in the States. And a good rider, as you can see. We're on board with Kenyon Kluge. He was on the podium at Infineon. Let's see whether he can make a move here. He's through on the inside. Kluge makes up a place. This man really au fait with the e-bike scene. He's, as we said, on his 5th TTX start, podium last time. Eli Schless looking for a podium today, running 3rd at the moment. That'll be his 2nd career podium in TTX if he can pull that off. But Troy Shahan still there, and Chris Page out front. Some of the bikes just beginning to take a little bit of a breather from the overtaking antics that they had, but they're certainly giving some good entertainment to the people here today at Portland, Oregon. Our 2nd round of the championship, 3rd race of the year, of course, because we had 2 races at Infineon. And really encouraging to see different riders coming into the sport. It really is attracting a great deal of interest as we go back to bike number 1, Steve Atlas, top speed, nearly 90 around here. And this the fastest venue now for the bikes as Steve takes the white flag and onto his last lap. Here's the 2nd place man, Matt Kent on 72. Eli Schless still running in 3rd place, so we're going to get 3 brand new podium finishers for the 2012 season here at Oregon. So Matt Kent then goes through. There's Eli Schless in 3rd place at the moment. So Eli having a little bit of a lonely time. This is home state, so he's pleased to be out here racing. Don Hedrick in the mix as well on the 69 machine, out of shot at the moment. Another instructor here at OMRA, as we mentioned, but back on board with Kenyon Kluge. He is in 5th place at the moment. Troy Shahan looking pretty good for the class win in the E-Superstocks. These guys coming up and taking the flag for their last lap as well. The key thing for me is the reliability of the bikes, which is really superb. And also the pace, because even the E-Superstocks, I don't think are going to find themselves too far behind the leader. I think 1 lap adrift at the moment, but certainly not 2. So these guys making progress round after round. Steve Atlas out front. Matt Kent is still on board with the Superstock fight at the moment. And Troy Shehan in front of us, looking to see if he can maybe nab the class win ahead of Chris Page. As you can see, some real terrific camaraderie going on with the bikes, and Shehan looks like he's managed to get through. There we're back with the second place bike. Matt Kent on his last lap. So Matt Kent will go across the line and take that second position. We've already seen Steve Atlas grab it. Here's the third place bike, Eli Schless. It's going to be a win for Bramo here. So 2 wins for Lightning and Infineon, a win for Bramo. It'd be great to get them all on circuit at the same time, plus the Moto Sis boys. I tell you what, this season's really shaping up to have a great deal of potential as we go on board with Shehan still there. And Chris Page is looking at him, trying to get out front. Chris Page having a good go to look at the wall on the outside, which beckons. They're side by side across the line. Who's going to get it? And it is just Troy Shehan wins the Superstocks from Chris Page. Kenyon Kluge in third position. Well, that was the class result. Here's the overall. Steve Atlas taking the win from Matt Kent. Eli Schless in third. The Superstocks won by Troy Shehan from Chris Page. Kenyon Kluge third in the E's, and then Don Hedrick seventh. And of course the 2 non-starters today, Sandy Michael Sis